Don't have that much tower damage. No tower damage at all
Alacrity
whatsoever.
on a catapult. That's going to be their main form.
Alacrity siege creep. That's right. Yeah. Too bad. What? No. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Oh.
But maybe T1 also has some shortcomings. It's going to be exciting team fights no matter what. And you know who's going to cast it? It's your favorite pair, Sunsfan and Jenkins.
Why do you always set us up to fail, Tsunami? Sunsfan here with Jenkins in this game 2 of this best of 3 for the upper bracket. We got Virtus Pro versus T1. T1 looked pretty much unstoppable. I mean, they looked pretty unstoppable this entire tournament and throughout a large majority of the major itself. But have they met their match in VP? Will VP come back to force this into a game 3?
We'll see, Sunman. I think there's a lot of work that you're going to need to put in to take this team.
Me specifically?
Yes, I think that VP would have a lot less issues than you would.
I see. Well, speaking of the game itself, Jenkins,
yes,
as you start to go off on tangents that don't make literal any sense, what do you think of the lineups? We got Faceless Void versus Spectre, an old tried and true matchup. Old school.
Yeah, of course. This one to me is a lot more balanced than the previous one, where
30 seconds to battle.
there were some obvious advantages to one draft versus the other. On the VP side, you have the Cataclysm Faceless Void combo, and I don't think we've seen DM lose with this offlane Kunkka even once. This guy just seems to snowball out of every lane, which is funny because Kunkka's not usually the greatest lane winner from the offlane, and yet he does, and he snowballs. So maybe we'll see that here today. Maybe that's how VP wins this.
And Nightfall trying to get a little cheeky here, but it's like, actually T1 gets 3 bounty rooms. So that's a nice little bounty for them, if you will. As we have Whitemon's playing the Nyx Assassin this time, my friend. What are your thoughts on that? We don't get to see the Zephyr God. He will be playing the Enchantress this time.
So Spectre Nyx does make sense to me to run these heroes against the Kunkka because you're just taking a lot of harass damage, but there's not really a huge amount of kill threat unless you get really low versus the Winter Wyvern. Oh, he starts with the EMP on GPK. I'll just easily sidesteps it. But yeah, this lane, it's all about harass, and so having this melee hero in the Nyx that has a ton of HP regen, you're fine playing this lane.
Oh, all right, Spectral Dagger's going to set up the Impale as Kingslayer's taking heavy damage. DM in the meantime, though, just pounding on the Spectre. Looks like Kingslayer will be protected by this wave of creeps, so things will end there, but he definitely got the brunt of the worst end of that stick, as it were. You know a lot about that, Jenkins.
Yes, a lot about sticks. For some reason, I guess.
Well, you did talk about birds in the last game, so I just figured it'd be connected.
Don't even get me started.
And that's how they make nests. I don't know if you know this. Kingslayer's getting pushed out of lane by Whitemon. But yeah, what about this lane in particular? 23 Savage on the Spectre against these two heroes. Should he be fine, or will he be worried for his life? Talk about how DM's Kunkka has looked really good as of late.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking a lot of harass, so it's hard to say. Once again, it's like this PL thing with the heart. This is something where the carry players will have some idea of what regen they need to sustain through this lane, but it's a little awkward because you don't see Kunkka offlane too much, so it's hard to calculate this even if you're a really skilled carry player.
Ooh, Spectral Dagger. I think that was a little bit of misclick there. Try to get the last hit on the creep. No. Instead. Yeah, early on, nothing too much to talk about in terms of CS. Just a lot of harassment in this top lane, especially with Zephyr, which should come to expect. Playing the Enchantress, of course, as save, has to be a little bit careful.
Nice positioning there from Nightfall, making sure that Zephyr doesn't just get a freebie on save. Because if he leaps away, he takes so much damage from that impetus. So I think Nightfall actually needed to run over there.
Yeah. What about the Lesh Invoker mid dynamic?
You know, Lesh is active with towers, and Invoker is active kills. So I think we'll see a lot of Carl running around and trying to set up on towers, and then GPK responding by running there and just looking to get some kills.
If you look at the CS right now, I have to say DM is having a great time overall in this offlane.
As usual.
16-0. That is, my goodness.
All right, I have a very important note. click on Invoker mid lane,
Radiant structures are
that
fortified.
thing, that looks like Exort orbs, that cosmetic.
That's true.
He has Quas Wex, those are not Exort orbs.
Yeah.
That's
Competitive advantage is what you're trying to
That's
say.
win right
Dave leaps to the other side of the tree line, and it looks like that's going to save his life. Wait, maybe not. Zephyr. Not able to find
almost
the
got
vision
him.
needed. But Cuckoo, in the meantime, if we want to compare the off lanes, he's not having a terrible time. It's 11-6 versus the 12-3 Nightfall. That's probably the bigger story than anything. Zephyr getting a little bit pressured here by VP.
Ooh, oh, so close.
30 HP.
This offlane Enchantress, or offlane support Enchantress, it's so easy to play a core in a lane with this hero because it just wins every single support matchup, and then if the support goes away, which is it's going to happen eventually because of exactly what we're seeing here, then the Enchantress can just go jungle and be really greedy and get huge, or you can sit there and pressure the carry. But DK is pretty similar. DK just always wins lanes, so that means that Zephyr can basically run around and do whatever the hell he wants.
23 Savage getting forced out by DM here. In terms of mid, I mean, Carl right now is having a pretty freaking good time. About 5 CS advantage just in the last hits alone. But like you said, it is a Quas Wex Invoker. So kind of to be expected. I mean, are you expecting the same kind of build where we see this Spirit Vessel into Midas afterwards?
I think that's a good build.
Tornado EMP. Oh, arrow just off the mark there from Save. Carl with that Diabolic Edict will live here.
I think with all of the healing mechanisms that exist in Dota right now that are incredibly strong, as well as the fact that in this game, VP is up against a DK, a Leshrac, and a Spectre, all heroes that are very tanky, all heroes that don't want to have Vessel on them. It's such a good Vessel game. They all also run in.
Oh, top lane. First blood goes the way of T1.
Level 2 and
level 2 Dragon Tail.
yeah, really cool.
Under the tower, my goodness.
Dire's top tower.
Save is trying to get a little bit of a retroactive kill here potentially, but gonna leap in. Has level 2 on arrow. Saw the setup with the tornado. Of course, you do technically have X marks into arrow as well, for a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, that's a much easier combo to hit. The tornado, it's really awkward because depending on what level the Quas Wex orbs are, the combo's different. So it's one of those things that like it looks easy when it gets hit, and then when you actually play it in a game, it's like, okay, I don't know how the hell to time this thing.
Yeah, that's true. But the reason I really like the Midas after Spirit Vessel this game is, I mean, it's kind of the same tale that we've been seeing throughout the major and this tournament as well. Is the Cataclysm is super important in this game because of the Chronosphere. If you're playing Quas Wex, obviously you're not going to have those levels of Exhort early, so that extra leveling from the Midas is going to help out quite a bit.
Yeah,
He's going to get pressured here potentially. All right, Tornado into EMP. Will actually clip Carl, so he's basically out of mana at this point. Taking an Arctic Burn on the side as well. Kingslayer takes a mana burn from Whitemon in turn. No kills will be traded here.
T1 are so ham, dude. Like, he gets Tornado EMP'd and he just runs into GPK, and he has no levels in Lightning Storm, so this Leshrac does a lot of damage just by walking up to things, which is why I'm kind of surprised that he's winning this lane so handedly, given that he's not using the Lightning Storm to CS. This is purely just utilizing the stun and his last hitting capabilities to win the lane.
Yeah, for sure. Nightfall. He's actually going to get the TP out here. No cancel available. We'll actually go back to base, it looks like. So, being completely pushed out of lane. And in terms of the net worth between him and 23 Savage is not really close right now. I mean, almost a full 1,000. Actually, it's more. It's 1,200 gold now for 23 Savage. That is real bad news for VP. See the discrepancy here. I mean, Spectre has, historically speaking, wasn't a great laner. Not very good early game, but it changed things around a little bit. It's 23 Savage. Looks like the arrow into the boat actually will all fully combo. So nice rotation from VP. We're just talking about that net worth advantage. That will help VP now in turn.
Yeah, he just kind of accepted his fate on 23 Savage. Man, this DM Kunkka is looking like the sort of hero that maybe you first phase ban it. I mean, obviously it's only 7 minutes into the game, but like he's the only reason that VP is still in this game, given how the safe lane went. Like,
First
top
phase?
net
man?
worth.
First phase?
I don't know.
He was picked like 4th.
Bro, it's looking pretty sick. I don't know. This guy with Kunkka,
Dyer's
he's
top
just
tower
such a
is under
specialist.
attack.
Okay, I'll take your word for
Radiant's
it. I mean, yeah,
bottom
he's looked
tower
really good
is
so
under
far for
attack.
sure. Is Carl gonna get clipped again by the tornado? EMP will connect as well. The arrow does not, though, but he's out of mana. The pulse bomb is not going to do so much. A save jumps in for that Star Storm. It's not enough to take out Carl. He's going to bottle up, and now from the side, Zephyr with the impetus ends up taking out save. And
Radiant
in the meantime,
structures are fortified.
you see the push from Cuckoo's Dragon Knight and 23 Savage.
Dyer's top
Yeah, things
tower
are
is
looking
falling.
very good for T1 here. Honestly, they're looking like they're on kind of another level right now from everybody in the tournament.
Yeah, it really is looking like that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Nightfall,
attack.
man. This is not the hero you want to be jungling on.
Well, you're
Faceless
talking about
Void.
DM. Looks like they'll find another kill here. So he is the guy that's setting things up, you're right. But yeah, let's go back to Nightfall. I mean, the farm doesn't have boots yet, has just the gloves of haste right now. And still working on treads. See another EMP connect. All right, what does VP need to do to get the Void back in the game?
Chronosphere with Sunstrike. I think that's what you have to do.
The Sunstrike's not too loud.
No, that's true. There is no Sunstrike at all.
See,
So that-
Dragon Tail,
Oh, never mind.
just to force him out here.
1 point. So they're going to need the Kunkka and the Mirana then. Basically what I'm thinking is I think they need 2 heroes to do damage into the Chrono because Void does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to need a Mirana arrow as well as a Kunkka boat.
It is a lot of set. Like right now, it feels like Nightfall has to play almost like a pseudo initiator,
Yeah, he's like an offlaner.
and maybe once he gets a little bit of farm, he can actually expand upon it. Like if he goes for Maelstrom or something, like try to get back in the game. But definitely a rough start from VP overall.
Dyer's
Other than
bottom tower
DM, like you
is under
said,
attack.
who's actually top net worth.
Yeah, he's
Good
huge.
lord.
He's huge.
Radiant's
That's what I'm saying.
middle
This guy just
tower
seems
is
like
under
uniquely
attack.
extremely good at Kunkka. I don't think I've ever seen an offlane Kunkka do this well.
Has his phase boots, has his hood, going for the straight into pipe, it looks like. Do you like this build?
Yeah, he just,
Expecting anything different, or is this pretty much on par?
no, I think this makes a lot of sense because if we look at T1's lineup, the only source of damage that they have currently is Leshrac. So Carl is just going to be running in, Edict, Pulse Nova, and so if they can protect through that Pulse Nova, I think largely, especially with the boat buff, like nobody's really going to die.
23 Savage gonna take some pressure. DM not quite in range for the X marks the spot. It is only level 2. I mean, that's the biggest reason to actually upgrade this is for that range. Once you get to like level 3, it becomes a lot easier.
It does. Yeah, it really does. It's one of those abilities that's like, it was so bad in the early levels. It's been buffed so many times, and yet...
Well, it was originally nerfed because people started playing him as support, which he wasn't originally intended for.
That's
right?
true. That is true.
As we see the rotation into the bot lane, Tornado, EMP
Done.
again.
All
Cuckoo
scanning.
gets X marks. Here comes the boat. I mean, he's quite tanky. See if this is enough damage or not. Into the air, just extreme lockdown from VP. You can kind of see where the draft comes together here. As Nightfall again being forced out. He just has to play ring around the rosy here. TP's into the mid lane.
Kind of cool that GPK is hard farming the vessel. I think it's a really important item to
Radiant's
get this
bottom
game.
tower is
And so
under
they're just
attack.
using DM's Kunkka to run around and
Oh boy, Vendetta into the Impale. Splitter to follow. Big kill onto Nightfall. Winter's Curse is there though. Kingslayer and company have come to try to get a trade. It will be for Carl, it looks like. And it might break up here.
Radiant's
But there's the
bottom
Dragon Farm
tower
for
is
Cuckoo
under
with
attack.
that siege.
Dyer's
And that
structures
annoying
are
Satyr
fortified.
creep as well. Some damage at the very least will be applied to this tier 1 tower. See the Blade Mail finally online for Spectre. Talk about that in just a moment. This creep is just continuing to get some tank action here for that siege. EMP again, and this is like, yeah, the EMP has been really on point for GPK. See the arrow? Oh, it connects! Meatball to follow, and Pale's only going to connect on one in the meantime. They just don't have enough damage to follow it up because they used everything earlier.
wow.
23 Savage will live.
That is a cool call. He walked in front of an arrow as carry for his DK and then walks off. Like, you have to have big cojones to make that sort of play.
Big. Yeah.
Yeah, big.
Big boy, indeed.
Okay, let's not go there.
All right, we see the Intel replay here. And this was the kill onto Nightfall. Again, just adding insult to injury for his game. I feel like, for the most part, VP, the lanes went okay. Obviously, the offlane was their their winning lane, I guess you could call it, because DM's having himself a game. But at the same time, Spectre's doing quite well himself.
Yeah.
But for the most part, a wash mid. It's just that top lane that's such a big discrepancy.
Right, and also the fact that DM is really stacking Ancients with the illusion.
Oh,
Very nice.
very nice indeed.
23 Savage. He's looking for the MVP this game. That's 2 sick plays in a row.
It looks like Nightfall will be going for the Mask of Madness this game. Try to accelerate that farm a little bit, but like I got 23 Savage with the Blade Mail, so it can actually take out some Ancient stacks here. Not the best hero in the world, but you know, when they changed Blade Mail to be...
It got a lot better.
Yeah, for this hero essentially. Oh yeah, the chip vest as well, that's true. So
That seriously
perfect
does
pickup.
help on especially heroes that have like high agi and base regen. You just farm so quickly by tanking. I love that Cuckoo, both games, is doing this like, I'm an offlaner, my life doesn't really matter that much. I'm just gonna go to like the worst place on the map and like literally
Radiant's bottom
suicide for
tower
towers. In
is
the
under
last fight,
attack.
23 saved him from that arrow. But I honestly don't think that if he dies there, I don't think he cares. Because he's literally just trying to like tank for siege creeps and you know, kill towers like at any cost. And it's a pretty good principle, I think, for offlaners, because your life is less valuable than the other roles. And towers are incredibly valuable, and people are putting all of their eggs in the basket of defending them these days. So why not just suicide for them?
And Nightfall, oh, is he actually going Hannah Midas? Are we gonna see double Hannah Midas this game? Is that the play? You're going against a Dragon Knight Leshrac lineup.
He wants a recovery Midas.
Wow.
I think if he's... The thing is, I think he's relying on his other heroes to do damage in the
Radiant's
chrono
bottom tower is
anyway
under attack.
at this point. And so
Radiant
going for the Midas
structures
makes
are
sense,
fortified.
because I don't think you can build to like do some epic fighting in the early game that's going to come from anything other than like the heroes that are already having a really good game. So the Midas is... It does make sense for the timing they want to play for, which is like the Cataclysm timing, eventually.
All right. I mean, he finishes his Mask of Madness first, which is also interesting. We're seeing a Dragon Tail Cuckoo. The X marks the spot. Will be going back shortly, but he takes so much damage, they actually burst him down beforehand. My, oh my.
Another
one very ready for that.
Another offlaner kind of suiciding for towers. It seems to be a concept that is shared between
Among all regions.
yeah, I mean, how all the regions watch each other, especially at the major, and scrimming each other. So in this case, though, he didn't really get any damage, and he's a top net worth dying. So that is definitely a little different. Like Cuckoo, when he's doing it, he's usually like middle of the pack net worth.
As GPK and Nightfall try to farm their Midases, I thought they were actually going to commit to that push, but I guess the Elder Dragon form is about to end. So I feel like if they knew that both heroes were going for Midas, maybe they haven't gotten Vision of Nightfall yet, but they play a little bit more aggressively. Like, what do you think their reaction is going to be to seeing that both? I mean, obviously Invoker should be expected based on the play so far in the last couple.
Probably Roshan. You see the Midases, and then the moment Chrono is down, you just head into Roche, thinking like, okay, they've got like 2,000 gold of just wasted net worth right now, 4,000 gold of wasted net worth. So let's go take Roche when their abilities are down.
I mean, this feels like it, from VP side, pretty risky to do this when you're behind already in the laning stage, to get it on 2 heroes. We saw Tundra do it for 3 heroes, and it didn't work out for them in that case.
I think Invoker needs a Midas because
I agree, yeah.
You need the levels to make your Cataclysm worth anything. If you're going to go for this Quas Wex in the early game, and you have to go for Cataclysm because you have a Faceless Void, that basically leaves you with no choice. And then for our boy Nightfall in the Faceless Void, you are just having such a horrible game. I think he's...
I mean, I understand why you would want to go for it, right? It makes sense. But at the same time, 2 heroes going Midas should click something in the head of T1, I feel like. But we'll see. Like, if Virtus Pro can come out in the next 10-15 minutes and not, lose a ton of net worth in the meantime, if they come out even, essentially, that's a huge win for them because they're just going to outfarm them.
You did say last game Invoker's one of the best heroes for defending that high ground.
That is true.
Maybe that's the idea, is that it's like, okay, they're going to get our outer towers, but for those, we have DM to stand in front of them, and then when they push high ground eventually, it's just too much of a pain. That's maybe the logic there, is like they think they can hold out for long enough to make the Midases worth it.
Yeah, but it is very scary because, obviously...
yes, the fluffy hats.
Yeah, double fluffy hat. Nerfs, thank you. But with Dragon Form, it is a little lengthy cooldown, but Leshrac, not so much. Ton of Diabolic Edict, that's constant push.
One thing I do remember hearing from Kunkka players back when this hero was like the go-to mid laner is that he's quite hard to siege these like tier 1 towers into, especially the mid-tier one, because if you walk up to try to commit to it, even remotely, he just X's you from afar, and it's such a low committal thing that he can get a bunch of damage on you, and then if it looks good, they just murder you.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to push into this hero just because of the range on X.
Cuckoo here has his hood almost done with his blink dagger. Maybe that's what they're waiting for here on the side of T1. They should know that they have some sort of an advantage after this laning stage. This tier 1 tower is still up. You can see that the sentry is spotting Whitemon right now.
Radiant's top
I
tower
love this
is
next
under
play
attack.
style though, to just once again playing the absolute perimeter of where is safe for your team and just be tanky. And if the enemy team goes on you, the fluffy hats make you tanky enough.
Yeah, tornado and the EMP. Spike Carapace comes out into the boat. The big shark is coming. As you just praised Mr. Whitemon, he dies.
God damn it. God damn it, Whitemon. Every time.
It's always him.
Okay. If you're a 5 Nyx assassin, do you care? That's all I'm saying. I don't think you care about this.
I guess that's
Radiant are
true.
I mean, you can argue that like he's in the river in the lowest of low grounds possible, and there's probably no reason to be there because you know that all of VP are sitting on that hill anyway. So there's that. It's not like he's really extending his team's perimeter by being there. But with that being said, if you are a 5 position and they're using spells on you like that, you're just like, okay, I respawn in 15 seconds. I don't give a shit.
All right, well, we have the double Midas officially online for VP. Of course, you see GPK already been using it for a couple minutes now. Nightfall has his. We'll be going for the BKB next, so extra survivability. I mean, he's a long way from being able to provide damage, though, that's for sure. But then again, they are playing for the late game, it seems.
He's going for a Sange now.
Oh, he changed it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wants to be a beefy boy.
Yeah. That's been the kind of the item of the last year, I want to say. It's been getting nerf after nerf after nerf, and we're still seeing it pretty
Never
consistently.
enough. Never enough, is it?
I mean, maybe they're just used to buying it at this point. Maybe it's not as good as we think. As we have the dragon.
Status resistance to OP.
Dire.
Yeah,
Scanning.
Cuckoo blinks in. Nightfall's able to time walk out, though. And we can see that not really much in the way of stacks here. But they are getting some vision in the enemy triangle for the time being. But, I mean, does VP actually want to fight? They're grouping up as if they're ready to. With a couple Midases, I feel like you're... Ooh, an Acronym Shonka. You're going to see the tidal wave. I have not seen, especially this early.
It's legit.
Interesting.
It's good. It does a lot of damage. It's a huge duration. It's more of a disable now because it actually knocks people back for the duration now. They can't move during it. I think it disarms too. Does it disarm? I don't remember. They cannot attack. Yeah, it does disarm now.
Okay.
So it's a significantly better disable than before. And it's funny. It looks really
yeah,
fun.
it is funny, and it fits the theme. But that's why I thought it was kind of a meme in the beginning stages. But typically you see it like after an Aghanim Scepter or something like that for the Kunkka, when you're playing this off-lane, like chaos-inducing role, where you're just trying to create as much space as possible, and somebody else does all the damage for the most part. Or the caster build, I guess you could call it.
I think because of the caster build, this hero is legitimately an offlaner. The move speed as well means that you don't need early boots. You can go for some bracers. He has all of these like torrent damage and stun talents.
Look at, he went for the damage talent though. Interesting. Typically when you want to go Ags, you go for the other one for sure. That indicates that he's probably not going to go for that. As Cuckoo jumps in with the Dragon Tail, impetus from the side. King Slayer does get off the Cold Embrace for now. Nightfall again has his Chronosphere. It's going to connect onto 2, but they will find the Wyvern in the end. EMP right on top as Whitemon gets torrented. Will be brought down. So it's a 1-for-1 with the buyback. Of course, Wyvern still has that ultimate to work with as GPK getting chased. Gets arrowed under the tier 1 tower, so 23 Savage has to be a little bit careful here. Starstorm to follow. He's taking so much damage, especially with that Spirit Vessel applied. DM has the X marks into Torrent, and this should be enough to take out the position 1 from T1. And Nightfall with the value Midas right afterwards. They somehow win a fight by having these 2 Midases.
Just a great Chronosphere. I mean, those are the 2 heroes that you want to get with the Chrono. You get the 2, least tanky, most important support heroes. And with the Mask of Madness, he's actually able to do damage to the Enchantress. Good bait, too, by Kingslayer.
Did he get clipped in that Chrono? Or was he actually just stunned from the Dragon
I think
Tail
he's just
still?
stunned from the Dragon Tail.
Yeah, it's kind of an elongated fight for the most part, but
DM again, man. Every single time with the spellcasting,
yeah,
he's
and the
doing
curse
so much.
to save GPK. Very nicely done. and the ice wall to prevent him from pretty much going anywhere. And he's all alone at this stage, so yeah, well-executed fight from VP. And you can see that DM not wanting to give the kill to Invoker, so X marks him back.
Of course not. That's why he got the damage talent, so he can steal kills.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it's worth it. He's carrying the game so hard. Every single game, I've seen him have so much impact on this Kunkka.
Pick rate's actually crazy. We see Cuckoo jumping with the Dragon Tail. Carl, split Earth to follow. No curse online for Kingsley. Does get off the cooldown breaks for now, but DM is in a lot of trouble. There's the curse. Just came off cooldown. You can see the tidal wave come out. Boat to follow connects onto 2. That is a lot of damage. Meteor is here, though, and you can see the slow from that ice wall just doing work this fight. X marks onto Carl. Is that another tidal wave? What is the cooldown on this freaking thing? 3 dead in the blink of an eye for VP. Sunstrike. Triple kill for GPK. All right, the double Midas works.
I think that's the best usage of tidal wave that I've ever seen. Legitimately, it's always a meme.
12-second cooldown. Okay.
He tidal waved to get more people caught in the Winter's Curse, which set up for the Torrent boat afterwards. That was ridiculously cool. All right, let me see if this actually happened.
He just made it up.
Well, I think that's what happened, but you can't go back in the replays, but now we can. Of course, with the impact move coming out, the tidal wave.
Yeah.
Winter's Curse comes out, and they pushes the curse target. So it pushes them all together. That's amazing.
And it sets up the perfect ice wall and boat. Yeah, that was really dirty.
Okay, that is an interesting combo. You can just push the curse target into other heroes, as well as the other heroes that are in the curse. They come along for the ride.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
My God.
Oh, slow-mo. Oh.
That's not even the impact move, by the way.
Yeah,
that's just an impact extra.
It just feels good.
Bonus impact.
All right, double damage onto the void, and it looks like VP are going to smoke up for now and see if they do have Chronosphere available. Moonlight Shadows popped. Cuckoo and company trying to take out Roche here as we see the tidal wave again. Hits only 1. Okay. And it looks like this is actually going to be a freebie for T1. Cataclysm comes online, but not able to find anybody.
Wow, they can get out of this.
Yeah, we're going to have the Dragon Tail. They might actually want to fight here. If they can take out the Curse before it's there. Yeah, the Chronosphere just a little bit too late, but the boat on top of 3 into the arrow, into Meteor as well. You wish from VP side you at least kept the Cataclysm for this, but they have a lot of damage. Double kill for Nightfall as he's absolutely going ham now. Triple kill as 23 Savage now on the run with that Blade Mail activated. The batch is there. Another kill goes the way of VP. That is the Aegis. Arrow connection successful, and this is likely going to be okay, it's not an ultra kill. I was ready to scream, but it's a 4th kill for VP.
Now you can scream if you want.
Oh, ultra kill.
Well, don't lie. That didn't happen.
Man, I genuinely don't understand how they got back in this game. I thought it would just be like this super slow-paced game with a double Midas, but it has worked out in spades for VP.
I just want to see the tidal wave again. I don't care about the impact Chrono. Like, I mean, it's a 3-man Chrono, which is nice, but it's set up by the Torrent into the boat. Yeah, that's... And then look at the tidal wave onto the high ground, pulling everybody out of position. If we...
Yep, there we go. Very nice. Man.
He's using it like a Mars Spear, like a punch.
See, the thing is, you know that a lot of people watching...
hell yeah, baby boy.
People are going to go in pubs and start building this, and then they're going to be awful with it. Like DM is just playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's that easy. I mean, once again...
If it was that easy, it would have been picked up like 6 months ago when it was put in the game.
It's hard to say that with Dota because it's such a strange game, but I've seen people try to do this in pubs, and good lord, it's just a meme. It's just a meme. It's just like this wave comes through and it looks hilarious and pathetic.
Yeah. But 6K net worth lead for VP. T1 feeling like they need to fight here. Whitemon on the sideline. They have the vision though. Yep, he's gonna get Yulesed into the arrow. Fight Carapace is there, but here comes the Meteor. It's gonna actually stun the original source, but it's not really gonna matter. It's a nice impale, but the Starstorm is enough to finish him off. And now into the 5-man smoke for VP.
Yeah, they want to get more out of this because, once again, just a 5 position. Oh, Dragonite?
Oh, Cuckoo. He's quite tanky indeed. And we're going to see the time dilation to start things out. Save looking for the arrow, but doesn't want to throw it out until it's a guaranteed one with the X or something like that. We'll have to be, I guess, just happy with that 1 kill for now. They're headed towards the top lane. We can see... Okay, Kunkka, our DM actually is building an Ags, by the way. which we kind of were expecting, but the fact that he didn't take the Talon is kind of crazy.
30 damage is a lot, is the thing. That's
They have a 0.4 seconds on the Torrent when you have a million of them come out.
stun's not so important. It's more like you're
Well,
already.
it increases the damage too.
What does?
The Torrent from the Ags. Or the Talent.
Does it?
No, 100% sure, yes.
Wow, I had
It just
no idea.
doesn't say that.
Okay, so there's 2 torrent damage talents then, technically.
Yeah, for the most part.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is why, like, typically when you go Ags, you just go for the Torrent Talents, you just brain dead it, but not the case here. I mean, I'm not going to question what DM is doing, but...
I think the reasoning behind the damage, I mean, we could, you know, there's a question of does he know that, because I feel like that's a very weird thing to be in the talents.
That's true.
Did you know Pangolier, when you get the Shield Crash talent, the damage of the spell increases by 1?
What?
Yes.
The 15 talent?
Yes.
What do you mean it increases
Cooldown
by 1?
talent increases the damage of it by 1. Dota's a very strange game.
How is that relevant? It's 1 damage.
I'm just saying, there are very weird things with regards to talents in this
How
game.
do you know that?
Because I was very confused by it, but let me get to my goddamn point. The 30 damage
I'm more
talent...
confused why you'd bring up that there's a 1 damage
Listen,
difference. Who cares?
Listen, Mr. Going on segues here. 30
Okay.
damage, it's all about farming, okay? He's getting to that Ags faster.
All right. Okay, that is a good point, as we're going to see a kill onto Whitemon here. Every time we have any kind of a segue or story, Whitemon apparently dies.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that.
I mean, I understand that aspect. That's true. But now you're going to miss the fact, like, if you could revert level 10 talent now.
Yeah, that would be nice. You could go back and take it after you have the Ags.
Yeah, it has his Ags now, so you're going to see the Torrent Storm out there. For those that don't know, it's basically just a ton of random torrents in the AoE that you... Or it's an AoE around you, right? But you do see the actual pool itself from each one.
Yes.
From the enemy side.
And he did also go for the strength talent as well. So he's just really looking to go in, be tanky, be disruptive. He wants like mixed damage as opposed to just
Well, technically there's, you said 2, but there's actually 3 Torrent talents, right? The 80 AoE as well, which does go on top of the
Well, I was thinking, does that increase the damage for no reason?
Radiant's bottom
AoE?
tower
No.
is under attack.
You see Carl, Sunstrike is going to connect. He's stuck inside the ice wall. Nice kiting overall from VP. But no, the reason that it increases the damage on the Torrent is because it does damage per second. So if you're going to be in the air longer...
I get that, but it's strange that it doesn't...
I mean, if Valve came out with a patch tomorrow that said fixed, I'm like, okay. It could be a feature, could be a bug. I can see it both ways. But I'm leaning towards feature in this case.
Now I just don't understand the angle.
Is under attack.
That one's just an oversight.
Why
But just put an extra 1 there.
Why is there an extra, you know? What talents are there that they're just giving you extra little buffs?
Yeah, that 1 damage, as usual, very relevant.
Yes.
See the Spirit Vessel applied to Whitemon. It's going to get a Spike Carapace, so GPK is stunned. Arrow on the other side to make sure that nobody's in the vicinity. You can see that nobody actually is. So Whitemon is trying to build the Ags, but it is much slower than we're used to seeing here. Tornado. Oh, not the best setup here. Tidal Wave was while he was in midair. But now with the BKB on the DK, maybe things change a bit for T1 in terms of their team fight, but it is an 8k net worth disadvantage right now.
Radiant's middle tower is
And
falling.
they're going against double Midas. Yeah, don't forget to use it here, young man. There we go. Well done. Splitter actually does connect. Nightfall trying to be careful here. Time dilation. Does actually proc on top of Whitemon. Torrent connects as well into everything. Tidal Wave, Tornado, everything. We're seeing the Chronosphere onto 1 with a Cataclysm to follow. That's 2 dead right off the bat. It's going to cost them their Winter Wyvern, though. Time dilation again. 23 Savage stuck in the vicinity of a lot of VP players, and you can see the meatball come out. It's just too much damage to deal with. Double kill for Nightfall, as now Cuckoo's BKB has already been expended, attempting to get out with that cold snap, keeping him basically in place. Starstorm, GPK gets credit for that kill. VP, yeah, GGs are actually going to be called here, and I can't blame them. After the laning stage, it looked like T1 were in pretty good position, I'm not going to lie. But VP just out-executed them in the end.
DM is just such an impressive